All right. Hi, everyone. We just came on. I'm not sure if you guys are on with me yet. I'm unpacking a box over here because obviously today we've all been waiting for this day. Big day. Presidential election. I don't want to talk about politics, but I did. I got my sticker underneath. Did go vote already this morning. I don't see any comments yet. Is anyone on with us? Hello. Oh, hi, Mindy. Oh, good. Hi, Eileen. All right, we've got, Rainy there. Juanita and Melba and Susan. Hello, everyone. Oh, good. I'm not alone. I mean, I'm not alone because I have Kate with me, of course, and she won't come over on this side, that we know that. Or maybe she's feeling a little more adventuresome. Do you want to take a little stroll?
I'm good.
She won't do it. It's all right. Maybe next week we'll get her. We'll see. Ooh, Janet, you're on it. I love it. So, hi, Carolyn and Diane. Oh, my goodness. Oh, all my faves are here. So what I was about to say is I went and voted this morning, and so wanted to go do it nice and early, and it was very quick, not a long line. And when I came up, I was being blinded. It was just morning sun, and someone's like, "Hey, can you come here, please?" And I'm like, "Okay." Well, it turns out it was this little girl with very loud voice, and they were selling Girl Scout cookies. So not only did I vote, I left one in the car. I ended up with 6 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. So I have voted, and now I have lots of cookies. So I highly recommend, going, voting, and, maybe visiting with a little Girl Scout or two. So hi, Christina. So, I quilted my duffel with the sashiko. Oh, Pat, that's awesome. I was actually going to, I had Steve set up the applaud, and I had mentioned the sashiko as well to him, and just thought that would be really, really cool to do. So we're going to go ahead and play with the applaud in a little bit with the batik version, because I think this will be really neat. I started the coffee one at home because I wanted to have us where we could kind of move forward a bit. If I quilted the whole thing today, you would be watching me stitch line after line after line after line, and that's kind of not so exciting. So, all right. So those of you who are new to us, I don't normally talk politics or Girl Scout. Well, I do talk about random stuff, but it's not usually politics and Girl Scout cookies. So, but this is Gloria Horn Sewing Studio, and this is Tuesdays with Tiffini. And so we are the bag ladies, and maybe gentlemen out there. And so if you are new to us, we just need to get you set up. So on the app, you're already set up. If you go to Facebook, you just need to type in register, and then it'll just prompt you and you'll be able to fill that out. We are also live on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Kicked, and I think I got them all. Oh, YouTube. I forgot YouTube. So we're also on YouTube. So hi, Jean. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Lisa. Lisa looks like she's going to come get my cookies. So anyway, so for shipping, we are $8. And then if you spend $75 over the course of 24 hours, you then get free shipping. So very reasonable. And because we have shows a lot. Poor Kate, she's new to us. I don't know if she realized just how many shows we do here. And so we do at least one a day, sometimes 2, like today. So in fact, I think yesterday was 2 as well. So if yesterday you bought things and you buy things again today, that will all get added up into 1, and you'll get free shipping if you hit 75. So there's that. I'm trying to think if there's any other business to take care of. Hey, Carmen. I'm saying a lot because I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. I think we're good. All right, so what we are working on is it's a kit that's available, and it includes 2 patterns. They are patterns that I designed myself. So one is the braided tote bag. I know a lot of you have done this already. I met some people at the event that we were hosting here, and there was one lady in particular. She said she had made 17 of them. And she also had kind of her own event/retreat with some friends and taught her friends how to make it as well. And so, that's one of the bags. So again, that's the braided tote. This one I couldn't decide if I wanted to go dark to light or light to dark. So I did it both ways. And so kind of fun. You can do it two-sided. This is the other bag. So this is the Charming Duffle. Both bags use one charm pack. So the duffel bag is really great. 18 inches by 9 by 9. And again, it uses one charm pack. You end up with 2 charms left over, a yard of fabric, and a half a yard. So the kits all include both patterns, all the bozal you need. The bozal is actually enough to make 2 duffels. You get 1 charm pack, a yard of fabric for the lining, and a half a yard for the straps. And so those kits are available today. We have 4 different kits. I'm just going to go ahead and hit on them really quick. Oops, you've lost me. That's okay. So one is Magical Winterland. That's this one you can see here. All of them also come with a 30-inch double pull zipper. The second one is this, the Batik one. I can't remember what it's called. Blue Ridge is what this one is called. And so, and while this bag doesn't have a zipper, the pattern does have an option for adding one. So you certainly could, or you could save your zipper for something else. The last one is Coffee Life. So this is Coffee Life. It's the one we started last week. I started quilting it, and I'll continue to quilt it, but I'm going to go through the steps of getting started on the quilting with the Batik one. So I'm going to be working 2 projects just so that we can sort of skip ahead and not do every little step completely together. So I think there's one more. Oh, there's a peach one, which actually quite a few of you got last week. And so those are all packed up like this. I didn't finish with getting the pattern printed. So this is Peach Whisper. So really great colors. It has the peaches, the blacks, creams, and these are the fabrics you get with it, as well as the zipper, the patterns, and 36 by 58 of the bozal. So, all right. So I'm done pushing the kits. I'm going to move this out of our way, right over there. And we'll get our big sample, move it over a little bit. All right, so last week your homework was to get, oh, Karen, thank you for getting that. I hear someone asking about Janine. I haven't gotten an update on Janine. She fell and broke her wrist about a week ago and had to have surgery last week. So she is not here today. She is tough as nails though, so I'm sure she will be back in a relative near future. So, all right, so the homework this last week, I'm going to move the coffee one out of our way for a minute, was to lay out all of your squares and then stitch them together. So we had done it together with the coffee one as far as starting it. I did finish that stitching, but I wanted to show you. So then you should be at this step. So we're all together on this. Now the bozal. When you get your bozal, it is 58 by 36. The length of this is about 37 inches, which is perfect because when we go to put our zipper on, it's going to make the bag a little bit wider right here. So we're actually going to trim off about a ½ inch from either side so that this fits nicely and matches up down here. So when you do your bozal, what I did is I unfolded it completely. So this is only half of it. Let me see, I'm trying to watch what's happening on the screen. So this was an additional here. So this is 36 inches and it was by 58. So I cut it in half. So I then had 36 by 27-ish, right? Somewhere in there, I'm close. So I cut it in half. That way I could do 2 bags. So I just wanted to let you know, if you are careful about your cutting, you'll have a lot extra. So in fact, for me, I'm going to make the second bag with it. So I'm going to set this aside for a second. What we're doing next is we're going to line it and make our quilt sandwich. So for the Batik one, this was our lining Batik. So you're going to put your lining down. And if you have the Batik, obviously it doesn't matter which direction you go. Both sides are the right side. If you do not have the Batik, you want right side down, wrong side up. So you do not want the right side touching your bozal. So then we're going to put our bozal on top of that. So again, we're just making a quilt sandwich. There we go. All right. actually, no, it's not going to be long enough. So you don't want it to go, you don't want this to go over the edge. You want to have a little extra around the edges. So see how I'm leaving, I don't know, about an inch, inch and a half all around the edges. I just want to make sure that's nice and flat. Now you can, if your bosal is really wrinkly like mine is, you can go through and steam it. So I might do just real quick here. I don't have like a true steamer, but this iron, it kind of helps fluff that back up. So I'm kind of just, I don't know if you can see all this steam. I'm getting a facial as we work together today. But you can kind of see some of these creases are coming out. So it's not going to be perfect, but it will definitely help. I'm getting a little water in there. There we go. You can kind of see that. I don't know if you can see it or not, because that steam with a light background probably isn't showing up very well. But I do recommend doing this. I could have done it earlier, but then you wouldn't have seen it. You can see it's just starting to fluff up. I do have a little water on there, so I'm kind of dripping like crazy. I'm going to just put that back on the floor. Shake off that water. All right. This mine's a little damp, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. All right. So again, I still have a little bit of those creases in there, but it definitely is an improvement over what we had. You could do that a couple times to really make sure that comes out. And so here we go. Now we're going to take this, and again, remember, it's going to be a little bit longer this way than our bosal, but just a little bit. So you want to try and center it on there. There we go. It's okay if it hangs over just a little bit. All right, that side's pretty far over, so we've got to pull it this direction a little bit. There we go. Make sure we're even. All right, there we go. All right. So again, it's going to be about a half an inch or so. If it's a little more than that, it's okay, I promise. We've got plenty of wiggle room there at the top. So just going to push this down here a little bit. Now, this is not fusible, the one that I have. Some of you may have gotten fusible. If you want to fuse it, that certainly works. You can put that on there. I don't like fusing it when I'm going to quilt. I feel like it moves around on me and makes me a little crazy. So my preference is to start at kind of do just a basting stitch across one side, and then I like to go from top to bottom and just keep doing that. Now, some people say you go from up, down, and then you come back up to stop. With these charms, what I did with the coffee one is I went down my seams first, and I did 1, 2, 3 seams there, and then I did on these edges here in between. So basically I did 5 rows, and then I went back and I started quilting. So I'm going to show you on mine what I did, and then we'll actually do some on this one. And we're going to use the applaud because Steve got me all set up for that. So you can see on here, I went and I did here first, but then I used the side of my walking foot and I just made lines. I put in 5 more. So they're about 5/8 of an inch apart. And so I've done these 3 sections. I have not done this one yet. Now, for the ends, I just went around the outside of it. So I'm doing this exactly the same way that I did my, my Christmas bag. So I'm doing exactly like this. So you can see I have the channel stitching here, and then on the end, I did not do in the middle of these. I just left them plain. So same thing as what I'm doing here. So today, I'm going to finish quilting this one, and when I do, then we'll do the cutting. But first, I'm going to show you how to baste them together, just in case you're new to doing that. It doesn't take us very long, but we are going to play with the applaud, so it might take a little longer than I had originally planned for, but that's okay. So I'm going to see if we have, I meant to bring some safety pins with me. So I had used safety pins with this, and I just put them in a few squares just to hold it in place So we're going to see if we can't find some pins or clips or something. Perfect, thank you. You guys can't hear Kate, but she told me they were here. She doesn't have a mic on. She doesn't want to come in front of the camera. She doesn't want you to hear her. She's a little shy. We're gonna bring her around though, because we all of us started off shy, and now look at us. We come on and we just chat. So, all right. So I was telling Kate beforehand. So some of you know the story. Like Gloria asked me to be on the show with her. It's been almost 2 years ago now, and I was terrified. And I said, no way. And so then my son Jake said, Mom, if she asks, then you got to go on. She needs you. And I was like, oh, man. So I came in and I apologized to Gloria, assuming I would apologize and that would be the end of it. 2 years later, here I am still. And look who just joined us. Oh, Steve just is passing through, so pretend he's not there. He did say he would come back later and help us with the applaud if we have any questions. So, oh, yeah, we've got this really cool thing. So Tommy's playing with his see, I'm getting distracted now. Thanks, Steve. Tommy's been playing with the sublimation machine, and with sublimation, and he's got all kinds of fun new things he's been doing. Oh, but what I was going to say is my son, so he's the one, he said, you got to go in and help her. So I came in thinking she would just be like, that's okay, I get it. I only needed your help for the day or whatever, and just move on. Instead, she was like, oh, he's right. You should do it with me. How about if you come on next Tuesday? So that's how I ended up here all the time. But what I was going to say is my poor kiddo, this weekend, his counselor, because he wants to go into education, told him that he should take child development at school, this class. Well, this weekend, he had a fake newborn. Hi, Ruth Ann. And this newborn that he had, we called her Sophia too, because his niece is Sophia, so Sophia too. But Sophia too woke him up at like 11:30 at night, 1:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Like, it was truly like having a newborn. And if he was slow to get to her, she would scream louder and louder and louder. So it was pretty funny. All right, here we go. So like I said, I'm just putting a few pins in here. I like to and I'm putting them in the middle of the square. So I don't want them along the lines, because we're just gonna go over and we're gonna tack this down just to kind of hold it in place so it doesn't move around a lot on us. And so, here we go. I'm gonna put one more over here. All right. Oh, Lisa, thank you. So being on the show has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. So, and you guys are such a blast. Getting to meet all of you and getting to do this, it's wonderful. All right, guys, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over, and I'm just gonna start up at this end, because I didn't give myself as much room as I probably should have. And I'm just gonna do a straight stitch down. I'm gonna start in the center one. I just like to start in the center so that if things are shuffling a little bit, they're not gonna move as much. So we're gonna go here in the middle, and then we'll go here and here and here and here. And then we're gonna go play on the applaud. So at least a little bit. And then we'll finish up coffee and we'll do the cutting and see how far we get. So here we go. Thanks, Aline. You guys are so nice. So nice. All right. I forgot to change the color thread on here, so we're gonna just stick with the green and white that's in here. I'll make it nice. You can kind of see what the colors are, I guess. So again, we're gonna start with that center line. I'm just gonna go right up under here. I am using my walking foot with us using the, with the bosal being in there. It's just nice to have that. All right, here we go. Okay. Oh, also on this, we're gonna go ahead, I didn't say this, I'm using stitch 3. I just like it being in the center, easy for me to see. Stitch length, we're basically basting this. So like a 3.5 or a 4, perfectly fine for this. In fact, I may just jump up to that 4. I do still like to keep it on the middle speed with it pulling this much fabric through, even though I'm using my digital dual feed walking foot. That's a lot to say. I don't like it. I can't keep up with the speed. It tends to not pull it fast enough for that. So at least for me. Some of you may be better at holding it and guiding it, but so we're just going to use that medium speed. And again, I'm at a 4mm stitch length. So really just sort of basting it, and I'm just sort of guiding it as it goes. I'm not pushing or pulling. You do want to sort of watch for wrinkles because sometimes it just sort of, as you're going, it might move a little bit. And we're going to be doing quilting. I'm doing quilting all over, so I'm not worried about it being exactly on the line. If you want it exactly on the line, you could certainly use like a stitch in the ditch foot so that it would stay right on that line for you. I just knocked over all those pillows back behind. So no offense, little buddy. I think that might be gray. I'm not sure. We're going to move him over. He can watch from the sidelines. There we go. Just getting this. I'm very excited to play with the applaud with this. So I was at Pottery Barn. I know I can't see your comments now because I'm over here on the machine, but I was at Pottery Barn and they had this Christmas quilt, and it was just a Christmas tree. It looked like a jelly roll that they used, but then they used things like decorative stitches and couching to dress it up. It was so fun, and I was like, oh my goodness, we could totally do that. So that's what made me think to ask Steve to set up the applaud for us. I asked him about the sashiko too, but we only get to play with one or the other, I guess, today. So, all right, so now I'm just going to go over. I'm doing the next one. Again, just going fairly quickly. I can see if it wants to sort of move a little bit on us. There it goes. I love these batiks. I think this is going to be a nice one. All right. Actually, there's not a lot of charm packs I don't love. So, there we go. This one I kind of went over just a little bit since it's on the end. All right. So what I do to get over there and still be going from top to bottom is I just roll this under or over, just like this, so that I can then fit everything in the throat of the machine. Now it is pretty long, so it's a little bulky. And it naturally folds where we just stitched those lines. So right over here, get this next one. We just have 2 more rows to do, and then we're ready to go play with the applaud. So I know a lot of you got to go to the event and play with it there. So it is our new cover machine. So there we go. Yes, even though I put a few pins in, sometimes the sides want to kind of come in a little bit, so that's why I'm kind of holding it down and pushing it over just a smidge, just so we're kind of keeping it all lined up. Yeah. Last one, and then we'll go over to that applaud. Again, I'm just kind of pressing it, pushing it over just a little bit, like smoothing it. I think is probably the better word. Over. Sorry, I'm hitting the wall. At home, at home, my things just sort of go over the table and there's room, but here we hit a wall. All right. Okay, everybody, there we go. So we have gotten that in there. I'm going to go ahead and pull out our pins. I'm going to go over to the table just very, very briefly and pull those out. And that way, I'm going to leave the end ones on. I'm not going to worry about those right now. Everything in the center I'm going to take out. I only had a handful of them. There we go. So we've done that. And you can see it really doesn't show much quilting. It's just, I did it to hold in place. And now we're going to play with that applaud, which I'm so excited about. One thing I do like to do, which I didn't say until just now, but that's okay, is I like to just check the back really quick and make sure like nothing folded in. And so we're in good shape. Everything looks great. And so we're ready to go over and play with the applaud. So right over here, move our chair over. There we go. All right, so Steve set this up for me before, and haven't gotten to play with it yet. So now the nice thing with this is you don't have to do like I had done the side of the foot on the walking foot for the other, but because we've got the applaud, we can do anything we want. We could do it that way if we wanted, or we can go just anywhere. So I'm gonna probably, what do I want to do? I don't even know what to do. I'm so excited. Okay, so we just want to start right there. Put that back down. Okay. Oh, here it goes. Let's just fold it down a little bit. All right. So we can do, like if we want to do waves. So I just want to show you, well, look how pretty this is with this fabric. So we've got the turquoise and the green. There's a variegated going in there on the side. We probably need to go a little further for you to see more. So I think I'm going to kind of just do a little bit of a wave going down, just so that I don't have to worry about doing a straight stitch or anything. So I'm just kind of gently turning my fabric. So how do we do this? I'm not sure. We're going to just stitch off the end even though we've got extra here because I'm not sure how else to do it. There we go. All right. Let's see. I'm so excited. All right. I'm going to take it back up to the table if that's okay. Just because I think it's easier to lay it down and see what we've done. Oh, guys, this is exciting. Here we go. Look how pretty that is. Oh, my goodness. So we've got this great texture with it going back and forth. Steve, I don't know if you want to come over, but this looks pretty cool. I think Steve left. So, all right, but you can kind of see that. So great way to add texture to it. You can then do, if you wanted some other straight stitches from the other, or you can go through and keep doing it. The cover stitch, so it's a type of serger, and it does like the decorative stitch on there. And so, Ruth Ann, you never know, I just might. So, right, Melba, doesn't it look great? Melba says she loves it. Steve had put the thread in there. I really like how it turned out. Maybe we'll do one more just to play with it. What do you think, guys? I think we're okay. I'll wait and see if Steve wants to come in and show you something else. I want to finish up our coffee one real quick because I want to show you the next step. So we're going to go ahead and get that cut and show you at least partially how to assemble. So we're going to want to get that ready for this week as well. I do want to change the thread because otherwise we're going to have green and white on here. So I'm going to go back to the regular machine, Kate. And so Thank you. Perfect. We'll get this over. I don't know if we have any non-green thread over here. Let's see real quick. This one will work. All right, so we're just gonna finish this up really quick. We just have a few, but I wanted to show you how I did it. So if you weren't sure, we did demonstrate it. All right. I definitely think I'll be playing with that applaud a little more when we're done today, so I can finish up the other one because it's so cute. All right, I think just for ease, we're going to start at the opposite end. So what I did on here, just like I did with the batik sample, is I went through and I did a stitch down each of the seam lines. And then, oops, that didn't go in. Let's do that again. See if it threads that time. There we go. Now we're threaded. What I did though is I picked stitch number 1. So I moved my needle all the way over to the left, and then I lengthened my stitch length to, you can do a 3.5 or a 4.0, and you can do whatever you want, but that's what I did. And then you can kind of see on here, I lined up the foot, my foot just with the line over here. And so that's kind of how I measured. You could certainly use the lines on the machine. You could, if you want exact straight lines, I would recommend like drawing your lines on. You can use a chalk marker, at least get yourself a center line so you stay a little straighter. I'm okay with my lines being a little wonky. I actually kind of like it. I'm not a perfectionist, and so okay, here we go. So we're just going to do this really quick. It goes pretty quickly. I believe I have 5 lines of stitching to do in between. I've done every other section, but we'll get this one done together. So you can kind of see I'm just going along and I'm keeping the side of my foot with my stitch line. So there we go. I'm hitting the wall a little bit, so it's kind of pushing on me. Left one of my safety pins in there, so we'll get that out of here now so we don't accidentally hit it. There we go. I'm going to close this up. All right. All right, perfect. And I stitch all the way off the end. Because we will be trimming this, so you don't have to worry about those stitches. So again, now we've got a stitch line we're doing instead of the edge. So we're just going to go right over here, line that up again, and off we go. So I'm just kind of supporting this. I don't have the table on. If you have your table on, that would help support the weight of this. That bosal does kind of make it a little bit bulky and a little heavier. So go. It's finished up. All right. So I just realized this is the first time I've been with you guys since Halloween. So I was very worried about like if we had enough candy or not, because the weather had turned nice, but we have a group of what I call littles, kitty corner from us, and they don't always come to our house because we have a lot of stairs, and I was actually just getting ready to go down this year and hand out candy to them from the driveway, but they all took off like 15 minutes early and they skipped us again this year. So so I thought, oh darn it, we're gonna have massive quantities of candy left over. But by the end of the night, I was starting to scramble and I had 3 pieces of candy left is all. So we actually planned it perfectly. I think Gloria mentioned yesterday she ended up with 3/4 of her candy left over. So was kind of nice. They were very cute. And I feel like this year, for whatever reason, more of the parents dressed up. So there were a lot of themes going on. So there was like a whole pirate family, like the Disney pirates, and a lot of minions. There was a character, this little girl, she looked so pretty. She had some sort of blue costume. And it was some sort of superhero, I think. But I have no idea what she was, but super cute. One man was dressed up as a hot dog. I thought of Keith. I thought, Ruth Ann, you need to find Keith that hot dog costume. It was hilarious. There we go. All right, one more line and we're all done. But you can kind of see using this side of my foot, it is lining up pretty well. There's just room for one more set. Now when I do this one, I will try and kind of watch this side a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to move my stitch line into the center, and I'm going to just go ahead and center my thing right here. Here we go. And I'm just going to go down the middle. There we go. Again, I'm watching over here this time so that my stitch line is a little bit straighter, because I can see I got a little wonky in a couple places on here. Not too bad. And so, but I do try and, I don't want it to be obvious that I got wonky. There we go. Almost done. Definitely hitting the wall this time. Here we go. All right, so our quilting is now complete on this one. So I'm going to take it back over to the table. We're going to do our cutting now. And so I'm going to move our accent fabric over. I'm going to move this guy out of our way. We're definitely going to play with this more later. At least I am when we're done, because I'm going to play with that machine because I love how that turned out. All right, here we go. So now, let's see if I didn't think to get out the rotary cutter. So we're just going to go through and we're going to trim this. So again, we're going to take off about 1/2 inch of our, on either side to accommodate for the zipper. All right, I have this little rule. Oh, here we go. I can see it. So we're going to kind of do this. So on our ends, let's see if you can see that nicely. I'll roll that. There we go. Now I'm in front of you. Okay. So again, I'm going to go about 1/2 inch, and I'm trying to line up down here. There we go. I'm just going to kind of eyeball the end because that part doesn't really matter. And we'll go up here and we'll finish that cut. All right, here we go. All right. All right, now, so we're just going to go around and we're going to do this whole thing that way. Well, not everything loses 1/2 inch, just that end and this end. And so it's your ends that have 6 across, six charms. So I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to make sure I don't, the kits should ship today. Well, I shouldn't say that for shipping. The kits will be completed today. So I had everything ready except the pattern and the label, and I just need to, and then attach the bozel. So it won't take me very long to get those done. We just had kind of a busier weekend. Usually I sneak in on the weekends and I sort of finish stuff up. It's so that I can get things done. I can't always get them done here in the shop because it gets kind of busy. So I apologize. I wanted those to go out sooner, but they are essentially ready. So you should get those very soon. If you're a in-store pickup, you could come in anytime and I can finish that off for you, even if they don't have it listed as done. So, all right. Oh, Patty, there's 4 different ones. I had kind of mentioned it before. We can put, I don't know what's in the window right now as far as purchase items, but we can certainly put, we'll have Kate rotate through them. So we have a coffee one, that's this one. And then, so here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line up my straight edge here. But we have a coffee one that we're doing here. We have the batik that I had kind of played with on the applaud. And then we have the Christmas one, which is like this. So this is called Magical Winterland. And then there's a peach one that's really pretty. In fact, quite a few of you ordered that one last week. And so, so that's great. We had a couple others, but I think we are out of charms. So without charms, I can't do a whole lot with it. And so, here we go. All right. Just kind of fold that up loosely. So you do have a little bit of extra fabric, which is really nice. So if you want to make like a little, like a zipper bag or something like that, just a simple one to go along with your duffel or your tote, you will have a little bit of that left over, which is really nice. I'm a big fan of being able to make like a coordinated little bag to add to it. And so, all right, here we go. So again, we're just trimming this all up. So this is part of, oops, that's not lining up. There we go. See. It's kind of weird. That one didn't line up exact, so I want to cut it and have it be wonky. So I want to show you what happened here. I was trying to kind of cover up. Down here was further over than that, so I tried to sort of straighten it up there and straighten it down here. But you want to make sure you don't want to be cutting off this one because of that. And so we'll go down here, and this one's lining up quite nicely. But for whatever reason, my other one at the other end was a little off. So what I did is, you can kind of see on here, I left a little extra of the bozal. So when we're putting it together, it will allow us to sort of hide that, how it slid over a little bit. All right, so in here, I'm going to get this done. Here we go.
Yes, yeah, we have extra sheet box. Yeah, that'd be one.
All right, almost there. Now, if you wanted to do this part with scissors, that would work perfectly fine. In fact, I might just grab the scissors and do that myself. I like the rotary cutter because it's so much straighter and exact, but it's no big deal. Sometimes it's harder to work with the ruler and the scissors than to just, or excuse me, the ruler and the cutter than to just use some scissors. All right. So see how easy this is so far? It takes a little bit of time, but it's a nice, easy pattern. And so, and the zippers, we'll be putting zippers in. I'm not sure if we're going to make it to the zippers and the handles today, but we'll definitely get them cut today so that you're ready to get those going for next week. And so we'll definitely get the bag finished next week. I don't know what time it is now. Let's see. 12:44. Okay. So we're doing all right. We should be able to get this part finished and get our other stuff cut. Like I said, I wanted to get to this point with you today. All right. All right, so now our bag is all prepared and ready to go. Now, some of you may want to add a pocket. Again, we have that extra fabric. If you wanted to add one, this is a great time to do it. So you would want to do it in here. You can either add you could do a completed pocket, like a little. What I would recommend actually is folding this in half and stitching down along the side, so you end up with two complete. You flip it out. I know this isn't in the instructions, but you would then have, these would no longer be raw edges. They would be like that. And then you can just, these could be raw if you wanted, not a big deal. You just put it there and you could stitch along your lines before and just put this in here. And then when we close up the bag, your pocket would be in place. This is going to be the bottom of the bag, so that's where you want to stitch across and put it and hold it down. But that would be one way if you wanted to add a pocket. Now you could certainly do it that way. There's other ways too, but you could just do a simple little pocket just like this and stitch it on there. So let's see. So we are done with that part. So the next step is going to be to cut our lining piece, or not lining pieces, but our accent pieces to make our handles and our zipper bindings. Now I do have to grab the pattern, which I think I have to pull apart a kit, and that's okay. It doesn't, these ones don't have the pattern in them, but this one does. All right, so in here, there they are. Sorry, I'm making noise. There we go. Both patterns in there. So we're gonna just kidnap the Charming Duffle pattern. Put that back over there. I don't want to forget to put it back in. Here's the peach one. Look how cute that is. We'll talk about those again though in a minute. All right, so for our accent fabric, we need 3 4-inch by width of fabric and 2 3-inch by 30-inch strips for the zipper. So do that. Turn it this way. All right. So we said 3 4-inch strips. So go this way. 4. All right. There's one. Oh, we're missing a thread here. There we go.
I was saying, wouldn't it just fit right into there? It's too long.
Okay. Number 2. There we go. And number 3. All right, so we've got 3 4-inch strips. So that's going to be our long strapping. So that's this part here. So that's what that's going to make. There we go. Sounds like candy wrappers. Oh, yeah, it does kind of. Let's see. And then we need 2 3-inch by 30-inch. So I'm actually going to cut. I don't want to waste fabric. And the reason being is if we want to use our extra fabric to make those little bags or accents or pockets or anything like that, we want as much as possible. So we only need 30 inches in length. And so I'm actually going to just take this to a 15. Let's see. There we go. So that's 15, not including the selvage. I'm just going to fold it in half. There we go. So that gives me my 30, and see how it's not a lot, but we have a little extra here, so we can play with that a little bit. So I'm just gonna line this up over here. There we go. Take that off. So again, that's our extra piece. And so again, you could use it for a pocket or even just an accent on the pocket in there. So you could use both pieces of fabric in there. All right, I'm going to double check I have this at 15. Turn this the right direction. There's 15 right there. I did cut it a little bit long. That's okay. Better a little long than not long enough. All right. And then we need them at 3 inches. I'm going to move our extra out of our way. I've got kind of a just straightening this up a little bit. Just want a clean edge. There we go. It's a little funky. All right, now we'll go to our 3. Perfect. And another 3. Oh, you know what, guys? I just realized I was using this side with a 1/2 inch. So that other one I cut is 3.5 inches. So we're going to fix this. There we go. This one now is at 3. And then we'll fix this one so it's also at 3. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces that we need. We've got the body of our bag is quilted and it's trimmed down. So we've got this. So this is your homework for next week. You're going to finish your quilting or start your quilting, I guess, because we didn't do that for last week. So you're going to cut out you're going to quilt it, and then you're going to cut it out so that you'll have your spaces for being able to put it together. And then you're going to cut your pieces for your zipper binding and for your straps. Now, if you want to kind of work ahead a little bit on this and prep these for your zipper bindings, you're just turning them into double fold bias binding. So you are going to, let's see if I can do this. I need a smaller, here we go. We'll do this. All right. Oh, this one's dirty on that side. Yuck. We don't want that side. We don't want dirty. All right, guys. So we're going to do this. We're going to take this. We're going to fold it in half. All right. So to make our double fold bias binding, we just fold it in half. If you want to mark it, you can. I'm just using the edges and folding it up. So this is the zipper one, but we actually do the exact same process for the strap. It's just we have to sew all those pieces together for the strap. So we want a really nice long strap. And so I'll show you how to connect those really quick too. And that way we can get all of this stuff set for next week. So then next week we'll be ready to just assemble and put these together. And so go. So I've just gone and I've put it in half. Now we're going to open it back up, if it will. There we go. I'm going to turn the steam feature off. I don't think we need that. As much as I enjoy getting a good facial, I think I'll pass on it while I'm here. All right, so here we go. So then we're just going to fold that in. I like to leave just a little bit of space, like a couple threads type of space between the raw edge and the fold. And so that just allows when I put it back together for it to have a little room to move around in there. All right. So we'll do that on both sides. There we go. All right. All right, I'm going to just put this back on the base to let it warm up a little bit more again. But you can see this was our center fold. We folded this over to there, and now we're just going to fold that one in. And that way we have that part done. And this will be for our zipper binding. It's 30 inch, so it'll be one side. And we're going to just do the same thing we did. I like to open this back up when I do this, the second side, so I can see the line better. Whatever works for you though, there's no wrong way. It's just the way I like to do it. So there we go, a little further. All right, oh, there's something under here. Oh, nope, the heat is making the cutting mat bow a little bit. We're almost done though, so I think it'll be okay. All right, there we go. Now, I do like to give it one more quick, like fold it all together and press it real quick. So just fold that all together and then a quick sort of like setting press. There we go. As I go, I try and kind of just fold it over with my fingers and line it up. There we go. So those folded edges are kind of lining up right up there. Now they're going to be on opposite sides of the bag, so if they're not perfect, you will not know. So not a big deal. I just try and get them as close as I can because that way they do stitch together a little better. So that is how you're going to make your double fold bias binding, and you're going to do 2 short ones. So 2 30-inch ones are going to hold your zipper. So they are going to be going on the edges up here. I don't know if you can see that very well. I can move this over. Boop. So it's going to be right on here, and the zipper is going to be attached to that. So super cute. Now, for your straps, what you're going to do with those is you want to connect all of these. So you've got 3 long ones. So the way you do that is you take 2 and you open them up. You're going to have one right side up. I'm going to move that out of our way. One right side up like that. And then you're going to take the other one and you're going to go right side down, and you're just going to crisscross them, right sides together. Now, you don't have to do this, but it does make it a little easier when you're stitching if you draw a line. So if we just draw a line from corner to corner, just like that, and we're going to stitch right on that line. And I'm going to just pin those together real quick on either side. You guys have probably done this before, but I figured it wouldn't hurt to show it real quick. So we're going to just pop to the machine, stitch on that line real quick, and be right back over. And so now on this one, well, it looks like it went back to it. So we're at a 2.5 millimeter, which is perfect. You just want to check, because we've been doing so much basting stitches, that your stitch length, you want to make sure you're not still at like a 3.5 or a 4.0. So, but again, I'm just stitching right on that line. It's as easy as it is. And you're going to do the exact same thing to connect the next piece to it. So you'll end up with all 3 connected the exact same way. So I like to open it up before I cut, just in case. But I like to just, there we go, I'm opening it, and I have one long piece, which is exactly what we wanted. And then we're just going to trim the excess off. So I just go up, and we go over, just like that. And then you'll press that. And I do like to do the seam open on these so that it reduces some of the bulk. So finger pressing it first is really helpful. Get that finished. There we go. Oops. And then just press that open. All right. And then, like I said, I'm not going to do the other piece on there, but you're just going to do the exact same thing. So you're just going to lay this down, right side up. You'll take your last piece. Oops, that's the wrong. There we go. That's the right one. You'll take your other piece and you'll just lay it right on top. You'll mark your line, you'll stitch, trim, and then you're going to do the same process you did with this and turn it into double fold bias binding. So your homework for next week. There's a lot, and I know there's a lot, but we want to get to the end. You're going to finish quilting. So whatever way you're doing it, if you're doing straight line quilting like we did on here, if you're getting crazy and you've got the applaud at home or some other cover stitch, this is really fun to do. We've got that line going on here. So however you want to do it. The one I saw at Pottery Barn for the quilt, it did some couching too. I thought that was kind of neat. You could throw on different things. If you wanted to put like a person's name, or if you wanted to do anything really crazy, you certainly could. So it'd be really fun to see what you come up with. But again, straight stitching is also beautiful. Turns out really nice. That's exactly what this is. It's just the straight stitching, and it looks professional, really nice. So lots of choices there. We don't have a lot in our sale portion of today, so I'm going to grab what we do have. We have kits for this. We have one that is this kit, so it is the Blue Ridge. It includes a charm pack. These are your charms that you will receive. It includes a yard of a batik. Here we go, I'll move over. A yard of this batik to go with it. It will also include the strapping fabric, which I believe fell on the floor. So your accent fabric for this one is this leaf fabric, which is just fantastic. It looks really great. You can see it made up, whoop, dropping things. You can see it made up in this bag. So, oops, there we go. So this is the same. Now this has a little bit different lining. We did run out of this fabric, so that's why I switched to the blue, which I think is beautiful with it. So that is the Blue Ridge kit, so really nice. And then of course we have our coffee kit, which here's what we've got. These are all the charms you get. You get the lining fabric. Now I did run out of these dots, so there are some that will get the dots and some that will get this little coffee print right, let me move this up. This little coffee print right here, I believe, is what I used. So I tried to continue to keep something from the collection, and I thought that would be kind of a fun one to put in there. I didn't have other ones, like I didn't have the coffee bean to put in or anything like that. So I hope you like it. I thought that was a really cute alternative for it. So that is the other kit, is Coffee Life, which is fantastic. If you have a coffee lover in your life, this is a great bag to make for them. The next one is this Peach Whispers. So it comes with, this charm packet has these beautiful greens and coral colors, kind of light peach, cream, and then it even goes into the blacks. I did choose something that's not in the collection. It's a shadow play to go with it for your straps, but the lining is from the fabric collection, and it's just, it looks beautiful. I think this is going to make a really great lining with all these little flowers. And so the fabric, oh, say someone's asking, so Karen, it's a yard of lining fabric and a half a yard of accent fabric. The accent fabric is, you are cutting a little close. You saw when we were cutting it, there's not a lot extra in that. The lining, you get a little bit more, but it's, are these washable? You know what, they are washable. I would probably not put them in the dryer, but I think you could definitely put them in there because you're just, it's bosal and fabric. We're not doing anything crazy. And so you might want to pre-wash the fabrics beforehand, not the charms, but maybe the yard and the half yard. So, but yes, this is a really pretty one, Patty. I'm going to put this in the bag really quick just so I don't lose it. Remember, they do come with 2 patterns. They come with the 30-inch zipper. They come with a yard and a half of fabric, so 1 and a half a yard, 1 and then a half charm pack, and then it comes with the 36 by 58 bosal. So the bosal is, well, here, I'll show you the package. So this is our Christmas one. So it comes with, it's a 36 by 58 bosal. And so it does not, the pattern doesn't require it to be fusible. Some of them are fusible just from what I was trying, because I was trying to get the orders filled. And so, but then the last one is Magical Winterland. And so that's this bag. The lining fabric, this has been a very popular one, which is great. I appreciate that. Thank you. I am still filling the orders where the lining fabric comes from the collection, but I've had to change it up a few times. So this one happens to have a tossed fabric. It has this one as its lining right here. All of them do get the red snowflakes. I have been able, if it's not the exact same snowflake from the collection, we have another collection that came in from Riley Blake that is extremely similar. So you will get a red snowflake for your handles because I just personally love it and I feel like you need it. I have been putting some of the snowflake in as an alternative. So you will get one of the fabrics from it. I've tried to steer away from anything too light or too dark. So something with a little pattern. We've used these ones as well in there, which looks really cute. I also don't do directional for lining. So anyway, I hope that helps answer some of the questions. All right, and then the last thing I wanted to let you know, for the event, we had brought in more Molly patterns. We'd brought them in to fill orders, but then we also ordered extras. So the Molly bag, as you remember, we just completed. So great bag. It takes it from, it's a kind of a simple bag, but it takes it from being what looks like just a standard tote bag. And because of the hardware on the sides, it ends up making it look kind of like a designer bag. It's really pretty cool. The pattern comes with, it has a zipper inside, or a zipper pocket inside, but this is the pattern. So that is Molly. We do have them in stock right now. And so I think I have about 10 to 12 in stock. And then this bag does require kind of odd hardware. So, and when I say odd, it's not like it's hardware that you wouldn't normally see, but it's the combination that's a little different. And when I say that, it's things like on the bottom, it calls for 6 bag feet. Most bag feet, when you buy them, come in a set of 4. Hardware generally comes in one length, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch. This bag, of course, calls for 1.5 inch rectangle rings, and then it comes with 1 inch hardware for the ends, and it's 1 D-ring and 1 swivel hook. Well, most hardware sets come with 2 D-rings, 2 swivel hooks, and in the same size. So I had made up extra of the hardware as well. So I have them in currently here in the store in 3 colorways. I can also, I think I might have a couple nickels in shipping. I just didn't have them up on the sales floor, and so I didn't grab them. But right now I know I have yellow gold. So I'm trying to think where I can put them. Yellow gold, I have rose gold, and I have antique. And so the other thing it comes with is the magnet. So you get a magnet, 6 bag feet. You get 4 rectangle rings, 1.5 inch. You get a 1 inch D-ring, a 1 inch swivel hook, and the magnet. So all of the hardware you need for that bag. So I know some of you had been wanting to make the bag. We did run out of the batiks for the kits, so I don't have any more of the full kits available, but at least with this, you're able to kind of create your own. So I just wanted to let you know that that is currently available. All right, I think that's it for me for today. I'm gonna go play with that applaud a little bit more and kind of add some more stitching to our batik one, because I'll be kind of going back and forth with these so I can do like half steps and we can kind of get through our bag next week. But thank you all so much for being here. I do believe we have a show at 3 o'clock. I'm not sure what it is, but you know what? It'll be fun to find a nice surprise. I will see you next week, and thanks again to all of you for being here. Bye-bye.